Part 2. The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui Bai Xiong. Chapter 11. You mean? Did you save this lady? Nalan Yan Ran looked strange. Staring at the boy in front of him who was only a few years older than him, he just felt like he wanted to laugh in his heart. Of course Xian Chen knew what the other party was thinking, and he was not angry under Nalan Yan Ran's confused gaze. Put another green elixir into Kyuzuye's mouth. Compared to feeding Nalan Yan Ran, Suinkan's behavior of feeding Ge seemed a bit rude. He opened the other person's mouth with his hands and forced the pill inside. The green elixir melts in your mouth. A strong herbal fragrance emanates from the body of the kudzu leaves. Nalan Yan Ran looked at the scene and was so shocked that she felt bad. Not long after, under Nalan Yan Ran's confused gaze, Ge woke up in confusion. He stood up and dusted himself off, as if he had forgotten that he had just experienced a battle. But after seeing Nalan Yan, she hurriedly shouted, "Miss Yan Ran, run! Those gangsters are not simple. You old man is so funny." Xian Chen sarcastically pointed at the only two remaining horses. "Since you are from the same sect, you can ride on the same horse together." With that said, Xian Chen got on his horse and looked at the two of them with indifferent eyes. Nalan Yan Ran and Ge looked at each other, obviously not understanding what happened. Kyuzuye frowned slightly and asked tentatively, "May I ask, did you save us? If I said yes, would you believe it?" Xian Chen rolled his eyes at Ge. Due to the effect of the elixir, the aura revealed by Xian Chen was only that of a 3-star fighter. Therefore, for Kyuzuye, who has the cultivation level of De Do Xing, even if he is beaten to death, he will not believe it anyway. "Elder Ge, to be honest, I can't believe it's him. But after you were seriously injured and fell into coma, I did witness him taking out a pill and feeding it to you." When she talked about feeding, Nalan Yan Ran's face turned red involuntarily. Although Nalan Yan Ran and Xiao Yan had a marriage contract. But as the granddaughter of Marshal Lionheart of the Garma Empire, of course it was impossible for her to have contact with men easily. Now not only have I met Xian Chen, but Xian Chen has taken away my first kiss. To be honest, she was very angry and wanted to cut Xian Chen into pieces with a knife. But thinking that Xian Chen saved his life after all, he was reluctant to kill him. "Oh? There is such a thing? Yan Ran, the injury on your arm has been cured." Ge had been observing Nalan Yan Ran, and when his eyes fell on Nalan Yan Ran's arm that originally had a scar, but suddenly disappeared, he was so shocked that he called out hurriedly. Nalan Yan Ran was also patronizing hate, and after hearing Ge's reminder, she finally realized that there seemed to be no wounds on her arm. Not only that, even the pain in the lower abdomen that was supposed to occur a few days every month suddenly disappeared. "Thank you, little brother. I just don't know who the little brother studied under." "Ge, on behalf of the Yunlin sect, I would like to come and say thank you." Kyuzuye also found that all the scars on his body had disappeared. Not only that, even some hidden diseases in the body seemed to disappear out of thin air. Ge, who looked excited, thought that the terrifying sword was from Master Xian Chen, so his attitude towards Xian Chen became much more respectful at this moment. Xian Chen was worried and couldn't explain it. He rolled his eyes and said in a pretentious tone, "My master saw that you are from the Yunlin sect, so he helped you. But because he had something urgent to do, he left early, leaving me here to deal with the aftermath." Although Xian Chen's words are full of flaws. But for Kyuzuye now, he no longer has so much time to doubt whether it is true or false. She excitedly held Nalan Yan Ran's arm and said with a serious face, "Yan Ran. Isn't the reason why we came to Wuyutan City to meet the Xiao family to break off the engagement? What do you think? After the engagement is broken off, I will apply to sect leader Yunyun to make this little brother your senior brother." Wow! Xian Chen cursed the old fox in his heart. Kuzuye's behavior is nothing more than taking a fancy to his nihilistic master. Hey, Elder Ge, how can you be so embarrassed like this? Nalan Yanran's face was already red, but now it was even redder. After squirming until Nalan Yanran got angry and walked away, Ge hurriedly apologized to Xianchen and chased after her. Yanran, are you really confused or pretending to be stupid? I've seen that boy's strength. He can become a 3-star fighter at such a young age. This kind of talent is a rare talent among our Yunlin sect. Not to mention the horror of that sword energy, I think you should have seen it. If I guess correctly, he is most likely a fighting king. Fighting king? Isn't that a terrifying existence on the same level as Grandpa? Nalan Yanran took a deep breath, looking at the shocking sword marks on the ground, she felt so horrified. Haha, listen to the old man's advice and be obedient. Ge patted Nalan Yanran's back and motioned for Nalan Yanran to come over. After a while, Nalan Yanran looked at Xianchen with a shy expression. But Xianchen was riding on horseback and watching with an indifferent expression. What are you doing? Don't you smile when you see such a beautiful girl? Pht. Ha ha ha. Xianchen suddenly laughed, as bright as a flower. You. Nalan Yanran was so angry that her perfect figure kept trembling. In a rage, he jumped up instantly and sat in front of Liao Xianchen while Xianchen was defenseless. Hey, you girl, Xianchen pretended to be angry on the surface, but in his heart he was happy. Nalan Yanran is the biological daughter of Marshal Lionheart of the Jiama Empire. Looking at the entire Jiama Empire, that family background is definitely a first-rate force. What's more, at such a young age, Nalan Yanran already has signs of developing towards a more perfect direction. Therefore, it is certainly impossible for Xianchen to abandon such a good investment. Hey, little brother, let me take the first step. Ge rode on the horse, smiled obscenely at Xianchen and the other two, and then galloped towards Yutun City. As for Xianchen and the other two, of course Xianchen continues to pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger. Along the way, Nalan Yanran knew that Xianchen was taking advantage of her from time to time. But Nalan Yanran's strength is not as good as Xianchen. What's more, that bad old man Ge had already disappeared without a trace. Faced with this situation, Nalan Yanran had no choice but to hold back the anger in her heart and endure it silently. After all, once Xianchen is angered, if Xianchen gets angry and suddenly kills him, it will definitely be more than worth the gain. And at the gate of Wuyutan City, Xiao Zhan looked around anxiously, and then said to Xiao Butong beside him, "Fourth brother, there are many dangers in Warcraft Mountain. I'm afraid of an accident. How about you bring some reliable disciples to greet it?" "Oh, Patriarch. I'll tell you the truth. I've wanted to go for a long time." Xiao Butong was extremely excited. What he was waiting for was Xiao Zhan's words. Although he is an elder, the rules are the rules in front of the clan leader. What's more, his airborne son is also in the crisis-ridden Warcraft Mountain. Xiao Butong, who had a son at an old age, was naturally extremely worried. "I can't wait to rush there immediately." The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui Bai Xiong. Chapter 12. Ahem, fourth brother. Actually, sending Xianchen out was indeed the clan leader's fault. It's better to do this. When Xianchen comes back, how about the patriarch give him the highest honor of the Xiao family and give him an elite disciple? Elite disciple. To be honest, in addition to some senior members of the Xiao family, those who came with them also had many inner disciples. The title of Xiao family elite can be said to be the highest leader besides the clan leader and elders. Even so, there is currently no one who is the descendant of the clan leader or elder. It can be said that the mission Xianchen performed this time was definitely more difficult than imagined, but it still made many inner disciples feel envious. But Xiao Buobu, who was originally in a gloomy mood, after hearing Xiao Zhan's arrangement, The anxious expression on his face slowly relaxed. It can be seen that Xiao Zhan is very excited about the fact that Xian Chen can be named an elite disciple of the Xiao family. As expected, I went to pick them up. Xiao Butong pretended to be distressed and led a group of Xiao family guards to rush to the crisis-ridden Warcraft Mountain. Those people in the Xiao family who stayed at the door to greet him were not only envious, but also jealous. One of the Xiao family disciples held his fists in front of him and asked Xiao Zhan respectfully. "Excuse me, clan leader, what mission did senior brother Xian Chen go on to get such a huge reward?" This Xiao family inner disciple's face turned red. Although he was jealous of Xian Chen, his own strength was only at the 8th level of qi refining. Xiao Zhan glanced at the other party and replied calmly, "Actually, this mission is not difficult, it just has to pass through the Warcraft Mountain." Everyone in the Xiao family was speechless. When the inner disciple of the Xiao family heard Xiao Zhan's reply, he felt numb and doubtful about his life. Those Xiao family disciples, under the leadership of Xiao Butong, were extremely powerful. Although the adventure groups rooted in Warcraft Mountain are a group of ruthless beings. But facing the local forces, the Xiao family did not dare to take action rashly. After all, after the soldiers of these adventure groups capture things, they often need to sell them nearby in Wutan City. Therefore, under this delicate relationship, it is natural that these supporting troops often give 3 points of face to the forces in Wutan City. What's more, Xiao Bubu ordered the dozen or so guards to hold Xiao family flags. Therefore, those soldiers lurking in the dark naturally hurriedly issued orders to the surroundings to avoid unnecessary trouble. Just when Xiao Butong arrived dozens of miles away, I saw an old man with immortal demeanor coming towards here. Under Xiao Butong's careful observation, the other party's clothing turned out to be the unified elder robe of the Yunlin sect. "Stop," Xiao Butong frowned. "Logically speaking, it should be a large crowd. Why did he just see one person?" This made Xiao Butong immediately stop the advancing team. After a while, the old man came into the sight of Xiao Bubu and others. The old man looked at the Xiao family flags fluttering in the wind, and said with a spring breeze on his face, "Haha, I thought there was no one there, but they are all here." Everyone in the Xiao family was silent, and the leader, Xiao Butong, looked a little ugly. But due to the identity of the other party, he still forced a smile and asked, "I wonder if the senior is Elder Ge of the Yunlin sect?" "It's me." Ge saw the other person greeting him with a smile, so he smiled back. Xiao Butong nodded, and after a moment of silence, he continued to ask, "Since you are Elder Ge, why are you the only one? Also, can Elder Ge see Kwanzaa?" Xiao Butong was a little excited. After all, he was old enough to have a son, and he was afraid that something unexpected had happened to Xian Chen. Ge frowned, looked at the other person up and down, frowned and said, "Although I don't know who your noble master is, I do say that there is a young man, but that young man's surname is not Xiao, but Xian. Call." Xiao Butong breathed a long sigh of relief. Before he could answer, he saw another horse running towards this side. On the back of the horse were a man and a woman. Seeing the two people riding the same horse, and noticing that there was Xian Chen, Xiao Butong suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart. "It's over." Xiao Butong was embarrassed. "Father, why are you here?" "Father?" Ge and Nalan Yanran were shocked. They almost said they couldn't believe that Xian Chen was still a member of the Xiao family. And Nalan Yanran's expression is also extremely wonderful. Ge's body trembled, even though Nalan Yanran was here to break off the engagement. But now that so many members of the Xiao family see Nalan Yanran and Xian Chen on a horse, it will be a great damage to the reputation of Nalan Yanran and the entire Yunlin sect. Xiao Butong is also an old man, so it's hard to see that the girl has feelings for Zijia's son. After coughing awkwardly, he explained in a leisurely manner, "Elder Ge, don't worry, These guards are from my family, and they won't talk nonsense. Ahem, if that's the case, then I can rest assured. The two of them understood each other tacitly, and Xiao Butong said to Xian Chen, "Chen, we are almost reaching the city, why don't you and your father share the same horse?" Yes, Xian Chen dismounted very honestly, sat down behind Xiao Butong, and then the mighty team rushed back to Wuyutan City. Near noon, Xiao Zhan asked his clan to prepare a banquet and waited silently at the city gate. After hearing someone shouting that he was coming, he hurriedly stepped forward to greet him. "This is it?" Xiao Zhan was shocked. When he saw Xian Chen riding on the same horse as Xiao Butong, he instantly had a bad premonition. But when I noticed two strangers, I felt relieved. "Is this Elder Ge? Then this person must be." "No need to be polite, Chief Xiao, it seems that the security of your Warcraft Mountain needs to be managed. Because of the heavy losses in Warcraft Mountain, Kyuzuye would naturally not give the other party a good look." Xiao Zhan was not angry either. Of course he knew the complexity of Warcraft Mountain, but he still welcomed the two of them into the Xiao mansion with a smile. At the banquet, Xian Chen sat next to Xiao Butong and was speechless the whole time. Xiao Zhan, on the other hand, clinked glasses with Ge again and again. Nalan Yanran held a glass of wine and said to Xian Chen, "Hey, boy, thank you for picking us up. I'd like to toast you with this glass of wine." After saying that, Nalan Yanran drank it all in one gulp. Seeing that Nalan Yanran was sullen, Xian Chen also frowned slightly. Xiao Zhan said nothing about this scene, and the other elders naturally regarded it as nothing. After having enough wine and food, Xiao Zhan then ordered someone to call Xiao Yan. And behind the elders of the Xiao family, there were also their own heirs standing. Not long after, Xiao Yan stepped into the hall under the leadership of the steward. After seeing Xian Chen, he couldn't help but wink. Xian Chen walked to the other party's side and said cheerfully, "Brother Yan, go see Senior quickly." "Senior?" Xiao Yan looked puzzled. When he saw his father sitting opposite each other, he knew clearly that the person coming would not be simple. "Dear bosses, please vote for recommendations, please give me rewards, I don't need you to pay 10 or 8 yuan, 1 or 2 yuan is also love." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui Bai Xiong. Chapter 13. Ahem. Yan'er, this is Elder Yunlin Zonga. Xiao Zhan motioned to Xiao Yan. Of course, Xiao Yan saluted very politely. Ge glanced at the other person and saw that he was really just a waste of the third level of qi refining, so his face naturally looked a little bad. Xiao Zhan was a little embarrassed and motioned to Xiao Yan to find a seat and sit down. And the heirs of the elders, after learning who these people were, looked at Xiao Yan with wonderful eyes. "Clan Chief Xiao, actually, I'm here today to solve something for Nalan Yanran. This matter is extremely important to our Yunlin sect's reputation, not to mention that our sect leader is very angry, so..." When Kyuzuye said this, his tone became a little heavy. As the head of the Xiao family, Xiao Zhan's strength in Wuyutan City is pretty good. But if you look at it in front of the behemoth Yunlin sect, it is still not worth mentioning. What's more, now that Ge is naming names and removing the sect leader, no matter how stupid Xiao Zhan is, he can't fail to react. After thinking about something, Xiao Zhan's face became extremely livid. Snapped. The teacup he was holding suddenly fell to the ground. Kyuzuye was struck by one of the fragments, and his expression instantly turned gloomy. "Xiao Zhan, I am not only representing the Yunlin sect today, but also the Nalan family. If you don't give me a satisfactory answer today, don't blame me for notifying the sect leader at that time. By then, I believe that with the strength of Yunlin sect, we will definitely be able to easily crush this small mutant city. Kuzuye changed the subject and instantly turned into a threat. Those elders who originally focused on Xiao Zhan now began to warn them not to lose the big for the small. And Xiao Yan also saw it, he was obviously here to break off the engagement. Xiao Yan didn't wait for Xiao Zhan to break out, and immediately shouted loudly, "You want to back out of this marriage? Are you treating it like a child's play?" I have to say that what Xiao Yan said was effective. Jie took a deep look at the other person. Although it was true that Xiao Yan was a good-for-nothing, the way the other person looked at him was definitely not something a teenager could show. "Brother Yan. Forget it. Let their elders talk." Xian Chen hurriedly grabbed Xiao Yan and signaled him not to mess around. Xiao Butong also turned a blind eye to this matter. After all, he witnessed Nalan Yanran and his son riding on a horse. The dignified fourth elder of the Xiao family law enforcement hall, who should have the most say, had to remain silent because of those tricky things. Xiao Zhan snorted coldly, and his fighting spirit exploded instantly. With his fists clenched. Immediately afterwards, Cyan fighting spirit was visible to the naked eye, gradually covering his body. Jie frowned and saw that Xiao Zhan's face had faintly gathered into an illusory lion's head, so he hurriedly stood up and immediately exploded. "Kudzu yet. I am a mad lion, angry gang, and my level is in the middle level of Xian level. If you dare to continue to challenge the authority of my clan leader, even if it costs the entire Xiao family, I will never allow you to act recklessly in my territory." Xiao Zhan's words were like thunder, and the elders of the Xiao family who couldn't bear it took action one after another to protect Jie behind him. "Clan leader. You must not. The Yunlin sect is so powerful that it is definitely not comparable to our Xiao family. That's right, patriarch. Don't make one wrong move to make a million wrong moves. Although it is inappropriate for the other party to break off the engagement. But no matter what, Xiao Yan and Nalan Yanran have never met. You can't force this kind of emotionless feeling. Alas, patriarch, a melon that is twisted may not be sweet." These elders spoke one after another. Xiao Zhan was about to explode with rage. Xiao Butong saw that the time was ripe, so he took a step forward and said to Xiao Zhan, "Clan leader, I think what you are saying is not unreasonable. Although it is inappropriate for Nalan Yanran to break off the engagement, it is not painful for Xiao Yan. What does it mean to be painless and not itchy?" Xiao Yan looked at Xiao Butong speechlessly, before Xiao Butong could continue to speak. Kuzuye immediately roared, "That's right. For him, a loser, of course it's not painful. But for our sect master's direct disciple, it is an extremely shameful thing. Think about it for a second. Are you willing to let your daughter marry a loser who can't make any progress in cultivation?" Kuzuye's voice was very loud, even drowning out everyone else's voices. Xiao Butong's whole body felt as if he had been electrocuted, and he stood still unable to say a word. Although Xiao Zhan was very dissatisfied with Yun Lanzong's attitude from the bottom of his heart, what the other party said was not unreasonable. Rather than risking the face of his own family, he would risk the lives of the entire Xiao family. But it goes against the behavior of a clan leader. Well. Xiao Zhan slapped the table hard. Watch as the solid table explodes instantly. One can imagine how terrifying Xiao Zhan's anger has reached. "Nalan Yanran, I agree with you to break off the engagement, but it's not that you're breaking up, it's that I'm breaking up." Xiao Yan's sudden words made even Nalan Yanran stand up in shock. I saw Xiao Yan got paper and pen from nowhere, so he quickly wrote down the content. Looking at the letter of divorce written by Xiao Yan, Nalan Yanran was so angry that she wanted to slap Xiao Yan. What an existence I, Nalan Yanran, am. To be divorced by a loser like you. Just wait. I will let Master destroy your entire Xiao family when I get back. Snapped. At this moment, Xiao Yan, who was still emotionally excited, was suddenly knocked unconscious from behind, and then the letter of divorce was easily torn up by Xian Chen. I'm sorry, he has a fever recently, and he likes to do random things. I'll send him back to rest. Xian Chen hurriedly left with Xiao Yan on his back, and Xiao Buibutong also hurriedly chased after him. Xiao Zhan stood there, too angry to say a word. But looking at Nalan Yanran's face, she said with a relieved expression, "That's it, I agree with you, that's all." After saying this, Xiao Zhan, who should have been in a good mood, seemed to have aged a lot. When the elders heard Xiao Zhan's decision, they all breathed a sigh of relief. Nalan Yanran and Ji Ye did not expect that Xiao Zhan would agree so readily. You can leave. From now on, my Xiao family and your Nalan family will have nothing to do with each other. After Xiao Zhan left a word, he walked out of the hall, leaving those people looking at each other. Qiuzuye's expression was complicated, but he still expressed his gratitude to those who favored him. Nalan Yanran said angrily, "Elder Ji, let's go." "Yes, miss." After Ji thanked him, he immediately led Nalan Yanran away. Those elders were active in a tense atmosphere throughout the whole process, and they couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. After all, it's really too depressing. Not long after, until Qiuzue and the others left, these elders all looked like they were being pardoned. The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui Bai Xiong. Chapter 14. Elders, you are really serious. Watching Qiuzue and the others leave, Xiao Zhan was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Those elders were too embarrassed to look at each other. Humph. In the past, when you bullied Yan'er, my clan leader always turned a blind eye. But now that everyone is bullying you, you are all rebelling against each other. Are you really so afraid of death in your hearts? Xiao Zhan's words were very cold, and he stared at these clan elders with vicious eyes. If it weren't for the fact that his strength didn't allow it, I'm afraid Xiao Zhan would be so angry that he would kill these guys with his own hands. Xiao Yan on the other side was knocked unconscious by Xian Chen from behind. So now Xiao Yan is lying quietly on his bed. If he knew that Nalan Yanran and the others had successfully left the Xiao mansion, he would probably be so angry that he died on the spot. After all, for so many years, Xiao Yan was very afraid of others calling him a waste. What's more, she is still a fiancée with whom she has a marriage contract. In his sleep, Xiao Yan dreamed that he was stepping on an extremely high mountain top. And in the very center of the mountaintop, there was a white-haired old man sitting quietly. The old man has long silver white hair. Even so, the pressure from all over his body is extremely terrifying. You are here at last, the chosen child. The figure sat quietly, although he did not look back, but he seemed to know that Xiao Yan would come. Xiao Yan frowned and looked at the figure. Although he didn't recognize it, it gave him a very familiar feeling. After a moment, the figure turned around. His face was extremely ordinary, but his eyes were as sharp as a sharp edge. Who are you? Why do you want to lead me to meet? When Xiao Yan saw the vicious look in his own eyes instantly became as sharp as an eagle. The old man was slightly surprised. He did not expect that a young child would have such vicious eyes. However, the surprise only lasted for a moment before he explained calmly, "Don't be nervous, I won't kill you. After all, I have been devouring your sacrifice for 3 years." The old man's original sharp eyes became calm again, and he showed an amiable expression. Although Xiao Yan suspected that the other party was an old monster, he heard that he had eaten his 3 years of sacrifice. I also think of myself refining my qi and disappearing every day. Then he was so shocked that he flew into a rage. It turns out that it was you, the old ghost, who secretly tricked Chen Kang. Xiao Yan was so angry that he was incoherent. I can't wait to yell. However, the old man raised his hand and blasted out a strong wind, knocking Xiao Yan awake. What's wrong with me? Xiao Yan opened his sleeping eyes, and what came into view was none other than Xiao Suner, whom he had been thinking about day and night. Xiao Suner was holding a cup of medicinal soup in her hand, with an anxious look on her face, which made Xiao Yan feel better. Brother Yan, you're awake. Come and drink this bowl of medicinal soup. However, when Xiao Yan was concentrating on Xiao Suner, he ignored Xian Chen sitting beside his bed. Xian Chen took the medicinal soup from Xiao Suner's hand and handed it to Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan nodded, and after taking the medicinal soup, he kept repeating in his mind, "Don't drink it." What's going on? Xiao Yan muttered to himself. Xian Chen continued to persuade with a smile on his face, "This is the black-bone chicken soup your father prepared for you, don't worry about drinking it." Father? Xiao Yan nodded. Even though the voice in his mind kept repeating, Xiao Yan believed that his father would not harm him. So I drank the chicken soup all at once. Watching Xiao Yan drink up the chicken soup, a casual smile appeared on Suankin's face. Where are those people from Yunlin sect? Father, how did he solve it? Xiao Yan only remembered that the divorce letter he wrote was torn up, but he forgot how he fainted. Now that he saw Xian Chen and Xiao Suner, Xiao Yan naturally felt extremely relieved. Hey brother Yan. I'm so sorry for you. Brother Chen, if I knew in advance that the purpose of Yunlin sect's coming was to break off the engagement. Even if it means beating me to death, I will never accept it. Xian Chen made a distressed look. Xiao Yan saw that the other party was so excited that he couldn't tell whether it was true or not. But I remember Xiao Zhan reminded him that Xian Chen is definitely a reliable person. Just give up your doubts now. Yes, brother Xiao Yan, if brother Chen knew the purpose of those people, he would definitely not accept the task assigned by the clan leader. Xiao Suner suddenly came to the side to help Xian Chen, which made Xiao Yan feel bad. Leaning against the wall with a frown on his face, Xian Chen felt happy. Haha, brother Yan, don't think too much, we belong to the same Xiao family. What's more, I'm older, so it's natural for her to call me brother. What Xian Chen said was not unreasonable. Xiao Yan nodded and then continued, I just had a strange dream. In the dream, an old man said that he had eaten my fighting energy for 3 years. Haha, it's just a dream. To be honest, I often dream of being blessed by the goddess of luck. Xian Chen smiled awkwardly, which relieved Xiao Yan's doubts. The more Xiao Yan thought about it, the more wrong he became. He lay on the bed and pulled up the quilt, then said gloomily, You guys go back, I want to be alone. Then please take a rest. After Xian Chen finished speaking, he glanced at Xiao Suner. As the door closed, Xian Chen immediately put his arms around Xiao Suner's slim waist. If Xiao Yan knew that his childhood sweetheart, whom he had cultivated since childhood, was picked by someone else, he would probably be so angry that he died suddenly on the spot. Hey! Xiao Suner looked shy, pushed away Xian Chen's behavior, and said angrily, Brother Xian Chen is not serious, I won't play with you anymore. Looking at Xiao Suner running away, Xian Chen giggled on the spot. Kill Xiao Yan now and take away his opportunity. The system suddenly reminded him, and Xian Chen's original happy mood disappeared instantly. Xian Chen, whose face became a little ugly, finally did not follow the system's requirements. After all, compared to letting Xiao Yan die directly, there is nothing more devastating than slow torture. After leaving Xiao Yan's small courtyard, under the introduction of Xiao Buobutong, Xian Chen successfully became an elite disciple of the Xiao family. Even without Xiao Zhan's personal authorization, Xian Chen's status as an elite disciple was recognized by the elders in this way. After all, for the current younger generation of the Xiao family, no one dares to set foot on Warcraft Mountain at will. As for Xiao Yan, who was left alone in the hospital, he fell into a hazy dream again. The old man in the dream demonstrated an extremely advanced technique for Xiao Yan. and he personally promised to help Xiao Yan complete his coming-of-age ceremony next year and make him a blockbuster. And Xiao Yan was also successfully brainwashed by the old man's familiarity, and he began to dream of a hero that everyone would have. Please reward, recommend votes. The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui Bai Xiong. Chapter 15. I do not know how long it has been. Xian Chen was lying quietly on the hammock and basking in the sun. Suddenly a black shadow came towards me. Xian Chen opened his eyes and looked at Xiao Yan with a confused look on his face. Is something wrong? Brother Yan. Xian Chen frowned and asked. It was obvious that Xiao Yan was not going to the Three Treasures Hall for any reason. After all, as far as Xian Chen is concerned, although he and Xiao Yan are brothers, they have no blood relationship at all. Xiao Yan blushed at Xian Chen's words. But considering that Xian Chen might be his most trustworthy friend, he took out a pen and paper and said to Xian Chen, Brother Chen, I want to borrow some money from you. Borrow money? Xian Chen gave Xiao Yan a strange look. Although he didn't know what he needed the money for, judging from the other person's expression, it was obvious that he really needed his help. What's more, what Xian Chen has to do now is to build a good relationship with Xiao Yan, otherwise, how will he meet more resources in the future? If Brother Chen doesn't want to, it's okay. I'll find someone else to think of a solution. Xiao Yan felt uncomfortable all over when he saw Xian Chen looking at him like a monster. He originally thought that Xian Chen was not going to lend it to him, but he didn't think so. Xian Chen's next behavior surprised him. Xian Chen only saw Xian Chen raising his hand and wiping the ring on his finger. Then boxes of gold coins came into Xiao Yan's eyes. Xiao Yan looked at so many golden coins and couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of spit. To be honest, although the Xiao family was once one of the 8 ancient clans, the current Xiao family can only be called garbage. Therefore, even though Xiao Yan is the son of the clan leader, his pocket money matters were cut off long ago when he was no longer able to continue practicing. I haven't seen gold and silver in 3 years, but when I see it there is so much. If Xiao Yan is not excited, then there is really something wrong with him. Each box of these contains 5,000 gold coins. Do you want to see if they are enough? Xian Chen yawned and stared at Xiao Yan sleepily. I thought that Xiao Yan would leave them all, but it turned out that Xiao Yan actually chose the smallest box. Although it is the smallest box, it still contains a full 1,500 gold coins. Holding the small box in his arms, Xiao Yan showed a rare smile on his face. What do you want the money for? Xian Chen yawned, sat up and saw Xiao Yan writing an IOU. So he stood up and tore up the unfinished IOU in an instant. Brother Chen, are you not going to lend it to me? Xiao Yan was startled by this sudden move and looked up at Xian Chen, who looked displeased, and seemed a little lacking in confidence. Xian Chen was so amused that Xiao Yan looked like this. So he took out a black card from the ring, handed it to Xiao Yan, and said with a smile, as a young master of the Xiao family, how can I hold a box and go shopping? Here, there are 3,000 gold coins here, take them and use them, and pay them back to me when you have money. Xiao Yan was stunned on the spot. After hesitating for a moment, he put the black card handed over by Xian Chen into the ring. As for the small box of gold coins, Xian Chen didn't talk too much with the other party. He just gave a reason and left, leaving Xiao Yan alone and messy in the wind. Boy! That guy is not simple. This black card has a strong smell of blood. If your guess is correct, the origin of this kid's money is definitely unknown. Not long after Xian Chen left, the ring Xiao Yan was wearing glowed dimly. Then a figure appeared and warned Xiao Yan one by one. However, Xiao Yan didn't care about the figure's warning. After all, Xiao Yan now completely believed that Xian Chen was definitely a trustworthy friend. Therefore, Xiao Yan certainly did not want to care about whether the origin of the money was unknown or unknown. After having the money, Xiao Yan was extremely excited. I, Yao Lao, are unlucky to meet a disciple like you. The figure laughed at himself, then ignored Xiao Yan and returned to the ring. I wonder if I would like to invite Sister Suner to go to Fangxi with me tomorrow. Xiao Yan was making a calculation in his mind. Now that he has become rich indirectly, Xiao Yan is naturally willing to give Xiao Suner gifts to the girl he likes. While Xiao Yan was looking excited, some of the Xiao family disciples who were passing by looked frightened. What's going on? Isn't Xiao Yan going crazy because of the continuous blows he received? It's impossible, this kid has been ridiculed by us for 3 years and he hasn't gone crazy yet. How could he go crazy at this time? Haha, he's just a loser, no matter what he does, whether he lives or dies. These juniors, who are called the inner disciples of the Xiao family, should belong to the same clan as Xiao Yan and love each other. But after Xiao Yan became a waste, almost no one in the Xiao family liked him anymore. Ignoring the ridicule of those people, Xiao Yan deliberately took a detour and headed towards the place where Xiao Suner lived. Although we were heading towards the place where Xiao Suner lived, the courtyard where Xiao Suner lived was actually not 100 meters away from the courtyard where Xian Chen lived. The looks in the eyes of those Xiao family disciples along the way made Xiao Yan vividly remember them. But Xiao Yan has endured it for 3 years, so naturally it is not less than these few months. So those guys don't take it seriously. Not long after, Xiao Yan came to the gate of the courtyard where Xiao Suner lived. I knocked on the door but saw no response. Just when I was about to leave, I saw Xiao Suner coming back with a small flower basket. When Xiao Suner saw Xiao Yan, she was slightly startled. Xiao Suner's eyes were evasive. Under Xiao Yan's serious gaze, she caught everything. Something fishy. Xiao Yan took a breath of cold air. He tried not to think in other bad directions. Sun, Sister Suner, where have you been? I've been waiting for you for a long time. Xiao Yan's tone became a little urgent, but when he noticed that there were faint red marks on Xiao Suner's fair arms and neck, Xiao Yan was almost on the verge of collapse. I went to Elder Xiao Wei, I don't know what she did today. When she saw me, she said she wanted to help me remove the moisture. Xiao Suner muttered an explanation. Xiao Yan didn't care if it was true or false. At least Xiao Suner's answer to him was acceptable. Xiao Wei is the medical elder of the Xiao family. Not only does she have good medical skills, she is also a Chinese medicine practitioner. For things like massage, the elders of the Xiao family all praised and said yes. That's good, by the way, Sister Suner, I want to invite you to visit Fangxi tomorrow. If you come across something you like, you can tell me directly. I am very willing to give it to you. Xiao Yan smiled silly, and looking at Xiao Yan's honest smile, Xiao Suner couldn't bear to refuse, so she agreed to go shopping in the market together tomorrow. After being agreed by Xiao Suner, I originally thought about going into Xiao Suner's courtyard to play, but that didn't happen. Xiao Suner walked in with her front foot and closed the door tightly with her back foot. If Xiao Suner hadn't given the reason that he wasn't feeling well, I'm afraid Xiao Yan would have started thinking about those disharmonious things again. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui Bai Xiong. Chapter 16. The next day, sunny. Xian Chen, standing in the courtyard, was wearing a relatively simple black outfit today. I got a relatively good treasure from the system, and I was just thinking about whether to give it to Xiao Suner. Xiao Suner's light voice sounded outside the door. Brother Xian Chen hasn't gotten up yet. Suner, did you hear the noise in the courtyard? This girl. A smile appeared on Suankin's face. Thinking of the scene of bullying Xiao Suner yesterday, it still lingered in his mind. Pushing open the door, Xian Chen hid the treasure behind him. Today, Sooner changed into a decent light green decoration. The light color makes the girl a little more pure. A pair of tight-legged trousers wraps up those slender legs, making them extremely round and revealing their curves. Long legs, raised hips, slightly developed small breasts. The current Sooner is undoubtedly very much like the young girls on Earth, full of vitality and attractive youthful atmosphere. Of course, I have to say that the girl Xiao Yan spent several years cultivating is really unique. Xiao Yan invited me to Fangxi yesterday. I wanted to refuse him, but seeing how pitiful he was, I agreed, Xiao Sooner said with a smile, but noticed that Xian Chen had his hands behind his back, as if hiding there was something there, so he continued, I didn't want to invite you originally, but it depends on your performance. Hey, Sister Sooner is so cute. Xian Chen scratched his head in embarrassment, then turned his hands behind his back. Then a simple wooden box came into view. Looking at this simple wooden box, Xiao Sooner was slightly confused. As Xian Chen opened the wooden box, a pair of earrings emitting a faint green light made Xiao Sooner cover her lips in excitement. The big, smart eyes seemed to be twinkling. Xian Chen giggled and said, although it's not a good thing, I believe it is definitely worthy of the beauty of Sister Sooner. Hey, Sooner is still a child, how can it be called beautiful? Xiao Sooner said shyly, but still took the gift from Xian Chen's hand. Looking at the young girl in front of him, Xian Chen took a deep breath, then reached out to replace the earrings that Xiao Sooner was originally wearing. When these earrings are put on, the originally hot weather instantly becomes cool. Yeah, Sister Sooner's excited expression made Xian Chen extremely happy. Hey, these earrings have the function of keeping you warm in winter and cool in summer. As long as you like it, Sooner, brother Xian Chen will make you the happiest girl in the world. Although Suanken's words were ordinary, in Xiao Sooner's heart they were the best love words in the world. Xiao Sooner looked shy and nodded timidly. Brother Chen, is Sooner here? At this moment, Xiao Yan's voice suddenly sounded outside the door. Xiao Sooner was shocked, but Xian Chen was not impatient. Don't be afraid, Xian Chen smiled knowingly, and saw Sooner disappear out of thin air in an instant. But in a quiet small courtyard, when Xiao Sooner looked at the familiar courtyard, she was so shocked that she couldn't speak. He hurriedly walked out of the courtyard and rushed towards the place where Xian Chen lived. Hey! Brother Chen woke up so early. Xiao Yan stepped into the courtyard, but his eyes were looking for something. What's wrong, Brother Yan? You've come to see me again. Is it because you don't have enough money? Xian Chen said something casually, but it made Xiao Yan stand there in embarrassment. Xiao Yan, who was blushing and scratching his head in embarrassment, heard Xiao Sooner's voice outside the hospital before he could speak. Humph. Didn't Brother Xiao Yan say that he would invite Sooner to Fangxi? Why didn't you come to see me? Well. Xiao Yan turned around in embarrassment and was speechless when he saw that Xiao Sooner was dressed so charmingly today. Xian Chen gave Xiao Sooner an ambiguous look, which made Xiao Sooner feel shy. After a while, Xian Chen took Xiao Yan's arm and walked to the door, then said seriously, if that's the case, then you can go. Since Brother Xian Chen is out, why not come together? Sister Sooner playfully stuck out her tongue, which made Xiao Yan like it very much. I'm afraid this is inappropriate, it might disturb you. Xian Chen said with difficulty, seeing Xiao Yan's wretched expression, he continued, Brother Yan, I just don't know what you mean. Ahem, Brother Chen, what you said is too foreign, isn't it? Xiao Yan stupidly persuaded Xian Chen to go to Fangxi together, and Xian Chen reluctantly agreed. Not long after, the three of them walked side by side, but Xiao Yan noticed that his sister Sooner had been deliberately staying very close to Xian Chen, and the unknown anger in his heart was faintly burning again. Along the way, the young disciples of the Xiao family were confused. There are even some disciples who don't understand how Xiao Sooner, who is the most dazzling pearl of the younger generation in the family in terms of beauty and talent, hangs out with boys every day. Of course, those people are more jealous than just doubtful. After all, judging from Xiao Sun's influence on the younger generation of the Xiao family, she is a goddess-like existence. It is impossible to say that she is not jealous. Ignoring what those people were talking about, Xianchen and others walked directly into Xiao Mansion and hurried towards Fangxi. Although Wuyuan City is not popular in the eyes of the Yunlin sect, it is still considered a good city in the Jiama Empire. Although the sun is scorching and the air is dry, it does not affect the discussions between foreign merchants and local forces at all. Since Xiao Yan had important matters to deal with, he did not go shopping with Xiao Suner for the time being. However, Xianchen would not let go of such a good opportunity. Xianchen would immediately pay for anything Xiao Suner had seen and touched. Purchase. Purchase. This not only left a good impression on Xianchen in Xiao Suner's heart, but also caused the nearby vendors to say yeah, in succession. What the hell? It's so expensive. Xiao Yan, who was buying something in the medicine store, was so angry that he ran away. Looking at the packaged 3 20-year-old purple leaf orchids and 2 5-year-old bone-washing flowers, Xiao Yan felt as if he was being cut. He, Master Yan knows how to joke. You are the young master of Wuyuan City, how could you get so angry over such a small amount of money? The shopkeeper who was responsible for receiving Xiao Yan, after receiving Xiao Yan with kind words, couldn't help but ridiculed him. Xiao Yan, cursing, walked out of the medicine shop. Thinking that there was still one level 1 wood-type magic core left, he began to look for the whereabouts of Xiao Suner and the others. However, Xiao Yan almost walked around and still couldn't see them. When he was about to go crazy, a child holding a candied hose on a stick walked quickly to him. Are you Master Xiao Yan? Just now, a young brother and a young lady said that when they saw an anxious guy, they told him that they had gone to the medium-sized square market. The child licked the candied hose with a proud look on his face. Medium-sized market. Wuyuan City is actually called a medium-sized city. And in Wuyuan City, there are several such medium-sized markets, each controlled by the 3 major families in the city. Among these 3 major families, the Xiao family happens to be in the position. Not only that, there are also the Gali family and the Oba family respectively. The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui Bai Xiong. Chapter 17. When you come to a medium-sized market, the number of celebrities here is much less than that of the surrounding areas. But even so, anyone who can enter the medium-sized market has a lot of money. After receiving the reminder from the candied hose-glued child, Xiao Yan took heavy steps to the entrance of the medium-sized square market. There was a guard standing at the door. Both guards were wearing uniforms of the Xiao family. So for those Xiao family disciples, even if they don't know the way, as long as they see someone wearing Xiao family clothes standing at the door, they can go straight in. The 2 guards were slightly confused when they saw Xiao Yan, but they still smiled and nodded to him. And those who are new to medium-sized markets but don't know the rules often make jokes. A young man with a slight smile on his face, holding a graceful beauty in his arms, was about to move forward following Xiao Yan's footsteps. Wait! One of the guards pulled out his sword and stared at the young man with a sullen look, his eyes full of warning. You need to pay 1 silver coin to enter the medium-sized market, and there are 2 of you, so you need to pay 2. Hey you! The young man was obviously shocked and angered by the guard's tone, but the beauty in his arms kept smiling. She took out 2 silver coins and threw them into the door box before being let go by the guard. After entering the medium-sized market, Xiao Yan couldn't help but smack his lips as he looked at the endless flow of people inside. Although the flow of people in the medium-sized market is not as large as that of the surrounding areas, it is not an easy task to find Xianchen and the others in the sea of people. Xiao Yan was frowning and deciding whether to leave when a strange voice startled him and turned his head quickly. Master Yan, Why did you suddenly think of coming to the medium-sized market? Do you need anything? I can send someone to go with you. The owner of this voice was a strong man wearing Xiao family clothes, and behind this strong man were many guards wearing uniform clothes. There is a badge on his collar, with 9 gold stars painted on the badge. Obviously, he is a 9-star fighter who can break through to the fighter. Faced with the Xiao family who were polite to him, Xiao Yan would naturally not act like a young master. Master Yan, are you looking for Miss Suner and Master Xian Chen? They are waiting for you in the tea house not far ahead. I am waiting for you here specially. Seeing Xiao Yan's expression of doubt, the prime man raised the topic and told Xian Chen their whereabouts. Thank you, uncle. I believe that the medium-sized city will be very safe with your security, Xiao Yan smiled happily. So under the watchful eyes of the prime man, he rushed towards the so-called tea house. A guard beside him frowned slightly. Captain Payne, although Mr. Yan is called a waste, his character is really approachable. Haha, that's it, okay, send a few people to keep an eye on it secretly. Although the medium-sized market is protected by our Xiao family, there are also many unclean pickpockets. Payne felt happy when he heard Xiao Yan call him uncle, but the guard on the side suddenly interrupted. After the impatient Payne issued an order, he led the guards to patrol in the other direction. Xian Chen and the two were waiting quietly in the tea house. Sister Suner stared at Xian Chen, who kept his head down and said nothing, blinked his eyes, and a smile appeared on his face. Brother Xian Chen, although I don't know your origins, I believe you are very powerful, right? This sudden sentence made Xian Chen look up in shock. It seems like a careless sentence, but it is like a sharp sword, extremely sharp. He, if I were very powerful, I would definitely take you to travel around the world. After all, that is the life a hero should live. Silly Ro dear. Ha ha ha. Xiao Suner covered her mouth and smiled, while the embarrassed Xian Chen froze on the chair and was at a loss. Not long after, Xiao Yan's impatient figure finally appeared in Xiao Suner's eyes. When their eyes met, Xiao Yan gasped in anger. But he still walked to their table and said, Sister Suner, can you bring me along next time you go shopping? Well. Sister Suner was confused. Although he didn't know why Xiao Yan suddenly said such a sentence, Xian Chen knew it very well. Xiao Yan's words were undoubtedly meant for himself. Rather than being concerned about the safety of Sister Suner, it's more like being jealous. Just when the awkward atmosphere became more and more intense, a clear laughter suddenly came from the stairs. Hey! Isn't this Miss Suner? I am able to meet you here. Is this fate? Everyone looked up at the stairs and saw a pale-faced young man. Xiao Suner's eyes became a little disgusted. But the young man didn't take it seriously. Behind him are many rich and powerful young talents. Although they are not as powerful as the 3 major families in Wuyuan City, their power is pretty good in Wuyuan City. Xian Chen frowned slightly, but remained silent when he saw the group of people walking towards this side. After a while, the young man, who was pale but still good-looking, came to the table under the stars of those young talents. The pale young man stared straight at Xiao Suner. Staring at Xiao Suner's autumn eyes, the pale young man was so excited that he couldn't speak. Haha, it turns out this is Xiao Suner. I thought it was so beautiful, but it's just like that. That's right, you are lucky to be favored by our young Master Galio. Master Galio, tell me, should you let the brothers tie her up this time or carry her away? Shut up. You bastards, those young talents who always liked flattering were suddenly scolded by Galio. They couldn't understand that Galio, who had always been among flowers and never touched a leaf, could actually fall in love with a woman. But Galio was extremely angry and continued to scold those guys with a dissatisfied look on his face. You all listen to me. Miss Suner is the moon in the night sky in my heart, Galio. Her beauty cannot be blasphemed by anyone. Galileo raised his hand and gave it to those who owed their mouths just now, and slapped them hard several times. Those young talents who were slapped dared not speak out in anger, and lowered their heads one after another, not daring to let Galileo notice their angry expressions. "What are you doing?" "Acting." Just when Galileo scolded his younger brother, Xian Chen, who had been silent until now, suddenly spoke. This sudden sound can really attract a lot of attention in the quiet tea house. "Who are you?" "Seeing that you and Miss Suner are sitting across from each other, they must be acquaintances. I won't embarrass you." Although Galileo was angry, he considered that he had to leave a good impression in the eyes of Xiao Suner, who was thinking about it day and night. So while pretending to be generous, he did not forget to put this favor on Xiao Suner's head. "I think you're a big cock that's had enough to eat, and you're looking for a weasel to drink when you have nothing to do. You're so impatient." Bang! Xian Chen immediately stood up, and with his right palm turning into a fist, he slammed the table hard. This seemingly extremely thick table actually cracked with spider web-like traces under Xian Chen's fist. It was as if someone just hit it a little harder, the table would instantly turn into pulp and scatter on the floor. Crying and begging for recommendation votes. The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui Bai Xiong. Chapter 18. Looking at the shame of the strange boy in his eyes. This awkward atmosphere caused a flash of anger in Galileo's eyes. If someone hadn't pulled his sleeve, he might have become furious on the spot with his bullying style. However, when she noticed Xiao Suner's expression of watching a show, in order to maintain her impression in her mind, she immediately said with a smile, "Boy, I don't know what kind of character you are. But seeing that you can appear here with Miss Suner and the others, you must also be a guest of the Xiao family. I, Jiali, never hit anyone with unknown origins, so you are lucky today. I don't plan to cause any trouble for you." Although Galileo seemed to be giving Xian Chen face, in fact he not only ridiculed him, but also scolded the Xiao family for criticizing Hui. Xian Chen smiled and couldn't help but applaud Galileo's performance. "What do you mean?" Galileo's eyes narrowed slightly, and his fierce murderous aura was revealed in his eyes. "What do you mean?" "It means when cats and dogs start barking randomly. Don't forget, this is the Xiao family's territory." As soon as Xian Chen finished speaking, the ordinary tea-goers sitting in the tea-house drinking tea all pulled out the swords on their waists. This sudden tension shocked the young talents who followed Galileo. Although they are in their respective families, they all have a powerful position. But when you come to this medium-sized market, it is the territory of the Xiao family. Facing these guards who often deal with fights, they really don't even dare to let out a fart. Xiao Suner blinked her smart eyes, patted the stunned Xiao Yan, raised her head and smiled elegantly at Xiao Yan. "Brother Xiao Yan, I'm afraid you can't think of it, right?" Brother Xian Chen asked Captain Payne to arrange these guards in advance. Hiss. Galileo took a breath of air. He simply couldn't believe it, seeing that a guy younger than him could actually do such a good job of safety. Naturally, those Xiao family guards would not show any respect to Galileo. Although Galileo's family is also one of the three hegemons of Wutan City. But for the Xiao family, that is the enemy, and the biggest enemy. What's more, it is no longer big news that the Gali family and the Oba family want to join forces to annex Xiaohong's small market. "Boy, you want to suppress my dignified young master Jiali with these guards, but it is not an easy task," Galileo said through gritted teeth, wishing that Xian Chen could be cut into pieces immediately to release the hatred in his heart. "Haha, why are you pressing? Do you think the swords in the hands of these guards are all the fire sticks in the kitchen?" Snored. The guards immediately stepped lightly with the soles of their feet, holding weapons and aiming at these guys. It was as if as long as Xian Chen gave an order, these guards would immediately stab out and make holes in Galileo and these crooked melons and dates. Although this kind of thing is not realistic, it can easily get these guards into trouble. but who can come to a medium-sized city and be responsible for maintaining public security? Who is Shanjiao? Boy, are you going to let the two families fight in advance? You know, there is a big family in Wuyutan City. If our two families really go to war, they will definitely have the last laugh. The corner of Leo's mouth twitched, his fists clenched, and he stared at the plain-faced boy in front of him with a sinister look. He is duping. In Du Xianchen, I don't dare to joke about the interests of the family. However, if he wanted to win in front of Xianchen, let alone such a romantic guy, Xianchen would naturally not be able to give him any good looks. The scumbag Galio is well known all over the city. Xianchen said thoughtfully, and then continued to mock, well, I am afraid that your title is only appreciated by those kind of money-worshipping girls. So don't worry, of course I won't make fun of the interests between the families, but don't forget, this is the territory of the Xiao family. You publicly challenged the Xiao family's patience in front of the young master of the Xiao family. This is the fault of your Jiali family. So I am very willing to believe that even if I don't agree, I'm afraid everyone present will not agree. Boom. These words were like a bolt from the blue, causing Galio's whole body to tremble. After all, although Xianchen is annoying, everything he says makes sense. If he really takes action, he, the young master of the Jiali family, really can't stand up to these ruthless Xiao family guards. Brother, if a good man doesn't suffer the immediate consequences, why not forget it? Master Jiali, I just remembered that my mother made turtle soup for me, I'm sorry to leave first. I'm sorry, Master Jiali. I just remembered that today is a day for ancestor worship in my family, so I'm sorry. You. These miscellaneous fish who usually regard themselves as gods, now suddenly look like they are cut off in two, which makes Galio, who has always been ambitious, extremely heartbroken. Haha, the self-righteous guy is actually just a poor guy whose life is thinner than paper. I see that your aura is chaotic. I'm afraid that there are a lot of tricks in your identity as a fighter. If I were you, I would definitely leave and cover my head with a piece of cloth. After all, it's really embarrassing. Xianchen seemed to see something, and Galio was shocked. His eyes dodged, and it was obvious that Xianchen was right. Galio, whose face turned red from suppressing his anger, pushed one of the Xiao family guards aside and left quickly. Seeing Galio's fleeing back, Xiao Suner was so happy that her eyes turned into crescents. Brother Chen, what on earth is going on? Although Xiao Yan had a bad impression of Galio, he never expected that he would be so shocked by Xianchen's few words that he would run away. A smile appeared on Suanken's face, and he did not answer the other party's question, but silently changed the subject. What's going on? I just met a pedophile pervert. By the way, have you bought everything? If so, then let's go back, right? Hey. I almost forgot when you reminded me like this. Xiao Yan slapped his forehead and remembered that he still lacked a first-level wood element magic crystal. He hurriedly reached out and took Xiao Suner's hand, and was about to leave the tea house. What is it that makes Brother Yan care so much? Xianchen suddenly stopped Xiao Yan. Under this sudden hesitation, Xiao Suner subconsciously let go of his hand. Xiao Yan had no time to think about why Xiao Suner suddenly let go. His mind was filled with the whereabouts of the wood magic crystal. When Xianchen interrupted him, Xiao Yan didn't want to elaborate, so he hurriedly walked out of the tea house and started running towards the places where the street stalls were placed. Xiao Suner, on the other hand, stretched out her palm and touched Xianchen's palm with her 10 fingers. Fortunately, this scene was not seen by Xiao Yan. Otherwise, any wood element magic crystal or hard work to upgrade would be blood evidence that would make him vomit blood on the spot. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui by Xiong. Chapter 19. Xiao Yan passed several stalls. I was so preoccupied with finding what I needed that I had no time to care about what Xiao Suner and the others were doing. His eyes scanned many stalls, finally reaching the deepest position of the stall. A stall owner with a goatee attracted Xiao Yan's attention. Xiao Yan, who pretended to be passing by, arrived in front of the stall after a while. He glanced at the things placed on the stall, and suddenly his eyes lit up. The stall owner with the goatee, despite his small eyes, could clearly notice the needs of the young man in his eyes. Ahem, I wonder what the third young master needs when he comes to my little shabby stall. The stall owner pinched his mustache and asked thoughtfully. Oh, it's okay, I'll just take a look. By the way, your business is fine. I see that you don't have much good stuff on your stall. What made the stall owner miscalculated was that he was met with ridicule from Xiao Yan. Although medium-sized markets can provide convenient sales for those external forces, but a good location also requires a certain price. This small-eyed stall owner can set up a stall in the deepest place, and he is in the least noticeable position. Naturally, there must be no good treasures on the stall. The stall owner's expression changed slightly. He was so angry that he was embarrassed by Xiao Yan's words. He didn't intend to continue to pay attention to this messy guy, but when he thought about it, Xiao Yan actually picked up a green crystal magic crystal. Seeing the playful look on the other person's face, the stall owner with small eyes couldn't help but feel angry. I thought the other party was just teasing me, but then I thought the other party actually threw a bag of gold coins. Third young master, what is this? The stall owner asked a little awkwardly. After all, this was the first time he had encountered this without even asking about the price. Putting the bag containing gold coins in his hand and weighing it, a pair of small eyes instantly emitted a quiet light. 1,000 gold coins shouldn't be too much to buy your magic crystal, right? Xiao Yan said coldly, and just as he was about to stand up, the old man's voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Boy, have you seen that black iron piece? Listen to me and buy it. It will give you unexpected gains. An unexpected gain? The frown on Xiao Yan's brows shocked the little-eyed stall owner. He thought he was meeting a stunned Qing, but the look in his eyes made him panic and take out the bag again. Master Yan's family has a great business. I don't think he cares too much about the price of this 1,000 gold coins, right? The owner of the small eye stall said awkwardly. Xiao Yan pointed to the tattered piece of iron and said, show me that piece of iron. Okay, the owner of the Xiao Yan stall thought that Xiao Yan wanted to bargain on a temporary basis, although there was no room for bargaining for the items sold. But the territory here is controlled by the Xiao family after all. Unless he doesn't plan to continue selling things here in the future, he can honestly accept his fate. He handed the tattered piece of iron to Xiao Yan respectfully. Seeing Xiao Yan's look of disgust, he scratched his head and explained awkwardly. Ahem, third young master, I'm telling you the truth. As you said, everything on my stall is full of garbage, of course, except for the magic crystal in your hand, which is still valuable. This small-eyed stall owner was so cruel that he even scolded himself, just to make Xiao Yan sound comfortable. Xiao Yan said oh, took the black iron piece from the hand of the small-eye stall owner, and walked away. Seeing Xiao Yan walking away like this, the stall owner with small eyes breathed a sigh of relief. Not long after, 2 soldiers from the foreign adventure group came over. They were the original owners who specially consigned things to the second body. One of the soldiers had 2 stars as a fighter and had an ordinary appearance, but when he saw the bright-eyed stall owner, he asked, how about blind man? Has it been sold? You guys are worried about money. The stall owner with small eyes was shocked, but he didn't show it. He happily handed the speech he had prepared in advance and the bag containing 500 gold coins into his hand. Oh, today is difficult. The magic crystal you provided, was originally intended to be a fat sheep. In the end, Na Chengxiang met the third young master of the Xiao family. You also know that a powerful dragon cannot overwhelm local snakes, let alone a local overlord. I had no choice but to sell it for 600. According to our agreement, it will be sold at 30/70ths, but I will be more loyal and give you 500. Well. The soldier was stunned by the stall owner's answer. He didn't even have time to count the money, so he put the bag in his arms. Damn it! You really know how to bargain. Forget it, having money is better than having no money. Watching them leave angrily, the owner of the Xiao Yan stall happily continued to sit back on his chair, silently waiting to meet someone as wealthy as Xiao Yan. After buying everything, Xiao Yan studied this black iron piece along the way. This black piece of iron is in tatters and obviously cannot be a treasure. If the old man in his ring hadn't always insisted that it was a good thing, he might have lost it on the road. Xian Chen held Xiao Suner's hand and bought many delicious and fun things on the street. If it weren't for the fact that most of the stall owners around me were acquaintances, I'm afraid someone would really yell at me for being offensive. After all, it's okay to hold hands. Occasionally, we would hug each other excitedly. As for the guards of the Xiao family, they turned a blind eye. Although Xian Chen and the others didn't know it well, Xiao Suner was the #1 genius girl in the Xiao family. This title alone is enough to shut up those servants like them. Xiao Yan wandered around like a stupid young man. He began his journey to find someone again. Not long after, Xiao Yan had no choice but to walk out of the medium-sized market without the guidance of the children. I thought I could meet them in the periphery, but I still didn't see them. Just when Xiao Yan was gradually losing his mood, he suddenly heard the noise of someone in the distance. Many people watching the theater gathered there, but because it was far away from the city, the guards who maintained public order did not go there. Your name is Xian Chen, right? I remember you. How dare you break their legs? This sound made Xiao Yan rouse his energy. I hurriedly walked towards the crowd and happened to see two familiar figures. Xiao Suner was holding many delicious and fun things in her hands, but Xian Chen was holding a pure gold and silver-rimmed stick that he got from who knows where. Why do these sticks look so similar? It's impossible, absolutely impossible. It wasn't until now that Xiao Yan remembered that he was also a time traveler. He couldn't believe that the stick held tightly in Xian Chen's hand looked very much like the weapon used by Monkey King, the Monkey King. Young men in their 20s are still showing their teeth and claws. Today I will not only break their legs. I will even take off your arms. The Strongest Husband of Dopo. Author, Hui Bai Xiong. Chapter 20. Boom. The terrifying sound of swinging a stick came down in response. This sudden blow made Galileo completely unstoppable. As soon as the stick fell, Galileo covered his left arm that was hurting in his bones. He couldn't believe that the boy in his eyes was so ruthless. You are provoking a fight between the two races. Galileo panicked, he completely panicked. He originally wanted to block Xian Chen and the others on their way home. As a result, the attack team that he had prepared so well turned out to be of no use at all in Xian Chen's hands. Those young talents were holding their injured places and screaming. Those who watched the show also lamented that Xian Chen was not gentle or serious, it was too cruel. Alas! Today's young people are so impulsive. Although others are at fault. But can the place where the family line is passed down be casually hurt? What you said is wrong. These guys are bad guys. I think this little brother is pretty good at fighting. That's right. They should be severely punished. Otherwise, they will really be lawless. The daughter of the old Wangtu family. She was kidnapped by Galileo. It aroused public resentment, and Galileo and the others could only break their teeth and swallow it in their stomachs this time. Xiao Yan walked up to the aggressive Xian Chen, frowned and asked, Brother Chen? Why does your weapon look familiar to me? I think I've seen it somewhere before. Oh, third young master. You can't say this casually. This is our family's heirloom. I asked this young master to snatch it away temporarily and use it. What the hell? Xiao Yan stood there in confusion. I thought that the Xianchen in front of me was also a time traveler, but it turned out that I was overthinking it. After all, apart from being a 3-star fighter and a little richer than himself, Xianchen seems to have nothing special. Throwing the stick back into the old man's hand, Xianchen said angrily, "Don't even think about selling this family heirloom in the market, it's a shame." As he spoke, Xianchen stepped on the young talents who had been knocked down one by one. Xiao Yan was still in a mess. Xiao Suner hurriedly took Xiao Yan's arm and left this place of right and wrong. After returning to the Xiao family's residence, Xiao Yan had to deal with some important matters, so he randomly found an excuse to run back to his small courtyard. And Xianchen and Xiao Suner were naturally separated. After all, it is still daytime, and if a man and a woman alone are seen by people in the clan, it will have some bad effects. After returning to the room, Xianchen thought about what Xiao Yan had asked him not long ago. He already knew deeply that Xiao Yan had become suspicious. "If I hadn't helped you this time, you would have been doomed, brother." The system's voice suddenly sounded, and it was obvious that it was really trying its best to help Xianchen do anything. "I didn't expect that you actually have the ability to change. Is there any way to transform into another me? In this case, I can go out and travel around the world." Xianchen said happily. After all, this system gave him such a big surprise. "No, you are overthinking." The cold sound of the system instantly made Xianchen feel as if he was freezing in the cold winter. "When I was worried about not knowing what to do, suddenly someone's footsteps sounded in the courtyard. Xianchen walked out of the door and saw that it was Xiao Meier, so he hurriedly prepared to greet her with a smile. "Stop. Brother Chen, you have changed. Although I admit that you are very good and will definitely be liked by many girls, you should not like Xiao Suner. After all, I believe that if you like Xiao Suner, the patriarch will not agree." Xianchen was slightly stunned. Xiao Meier's words were so full that he really didn't know how to answer for a while. Xiao Meier was the first girl he met when he traveled here, and she was also the first girl who made him happy. Although Xianchen felt a little sorry in his heart, the mission of the system was to let him capture all the girls who would have any relationship with Xiao Yan. But of course, it was impossible for Xianchen to tell Xiao Meier about this kind of thing, otherwise, there would be no need for him to continue messing around here. "You are overthinking, Meier. I admit that I like Xiao Suner, but I also like you too. Besides, I am your elder brother, and my love for you is only between the elders and the younger ones. It is not a couple status as you think." Although the reason given by Xianchen is very crude, it does not mean that it is unreasonable. Xiao Meier was silent for a few seconds, then walked quickly to Xianchen. After their eyes met, Xiao Meier suddenly opened her arms and hugged Xianchen tightly. "I'm sorry, I'm very willful. Xiao Suner is a girl, and Xiao Meier is also a girl. I have a strong possessive streak, I'm sorry." This sorry made Xianchen feel numb. Xianchen didn't know what to do for a moment. He just hoped that Xiao Suner wouldn't suddenly appear at this time, otherwise, it would really be impossible to argue. However, the world is so wonderful. Xiao Suner carried the delicious food she bought at the medium-sized market and watched Xiao Meier hugging Xianchen. "The delicious food in my hand suddenly no longer tastes good." The thing fell on the ground. Xiao Suner, with tears in her eyes, turned and left. "Damn it!" Xianchen cursed himself hard in his heart, but Xiao Meier was already crying, and Xiao Suner would definitely find a quiet place to cry. The thing falling attracted Xiao Meier's attention. Xiao Meier turned around, looked at the familiar figure from behind, and remained silent. Xiao Meier left silently, leaving Xianchen alone and confused. "You're done." This time you offended 2 women. The system's gloating voice was like a time bomb, instantly causing Xianchen to explode in the courtyard. Not long after regaining his composure, Xianchen walked to the door, picked up a bag full of snacks, and walked straight to Xiao Sun's courtyard. He hung the snacks on the door and left with his lonely figure behind. "Chen, my father is looking for you." Xiao Buobutong's voice stopped Xianchen. Xianchen turned to look at Xiao Buobutong, and the sadness in his heart suddenly surged into his heart. He also wanted to find someone to talk to about his inner depression, but he couldn't do that. Xiao Butong really regarded Xianchen as his son, holding in his hand the old duck soup that the kitchen had specially prepared for Xianchen. Looking at this kind-hearted old father, Xianchen had 1,000 words to say, but he couldn't say them out in his heart. "What's wrong, Chen? Is there someone who bullies you blindly? Tell your father, and he will help you teach him a lesson." Xiao Butong's aura that belongs exclusively to the great Do Master exploded instantly. "I have to say that Xiao Butong is really serious. Father, you are overthinking it. Chen just feels that the wind is a bit strong today." Xianchen explained with a smile, so he took Xiao Buobutong's hand and walked towards his yard. "Push the book, Fantasy Steals the Heavens. A good friend's book. If you are interested, you can read it."